I don't live in a hole, so I know what certainly the consequences of winning and losing are. But again, I've had fun all year playing. I really have, and it's maybe a few more people care about the game, now that it, quote unquote means something. But I don't think it changes anything for this team.
He's such a lovable weirdo.
He really is. It's amazing when you hear his voice. Dearest mother, the Titans are coming to town, dearest mother.
I keep waiting for him. Wouldn't it be great? I mean, it would be the ultimate exercise in self-awareness if he would work dearest mother into one of his press conferences or media availabilities.
It would be. I mean, he just, if anybody out there, just meeting him a few times, they don't come any nicer than Andrew Luck. You could just tell the kind of professionally his week in, week out. He never points fingers. I do respect his game. And he's back in the conversation as one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. I think he's proven that to us this year with what he's done. Now has an offensive line. It's been a pretty special year. So I've enjoyed that as far as Andrew Luck's concerned.
Is lovable weirdo a fair description?
I think that is.
Yeah,
it's weirdo in a nice way. I know what you mean. I mean, he's got that, all shucks laugh. Oh, more people are going to be watching this weekend. Yeah, I get it. I got what you're saying.
And he's different from, that's one of the reasons I like you. There aren't many, but one of the reasons I like you is you're so different than what I expected, because there's that quarterback mentality, that kind of a jerk, kind of a butthole, kind of a, over-the-top ego kind of a thing that you expect a quarterback to have, because you need that in order to thrive. And it may explain why you didn't thrive, but it's a good personality trait, and you kind of have that in common with Andrew Luck. I guess what I'm saying is you're a lovable weirdo too, but I don't mean it in the same vein.
No, you do.
With you as I do with
It's
Luck.
all right. Yeah, you like it. It's okay. Don't worry. Just embrace it. It's the holidays. It's okay to show a little love to me. It's all right. You're good.
And here's the thing. A year after the Indianapolis Colts didn't have the services of Andrew Luck for the entire season, they have him for Week 17 in a playoff play-in game. And the real question is, will the Titans have their starting quarterback? Marcus Mariota has a stinger. And it happened the exact same way in the regular season. Looked like an elbow injury. It's a stinger. Half of his body goes numb. And Marcus Mariota doesn't know whether or not he's going to be able to play on Sunday. And that is a huge difference. When you go from Mariota to Blaine Gabbert, that potentially impacts whether or not you're going to manage a victory at home against the Colts. And for the Titans, Chris, this dawned on us. I think MDS figured this out on Tuesday. The idea that the Titans could go from out of the playoffs all the way up to the 2 seed, depending upon how the day shakes out. They could get a bye, and they'll know by the time the game starts, everything else will be done. We'll know exactly what's on the line. We already know that a playoff berth is on the line. The loser's out, the winner's in. But the winner could go, if it's Tennessee, all the way to the number 2 seed. It's a potentially fascinating array of developments that could all play out throughout the course of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's fascinating to think that the Tennessee Titans could be the number 2 seed. I am, of course, excited for that football game in general. I'll say this much. The Titans are a team. I'm sorry, Tennessee. I don't mean to be a jerk or anything like that. I don't want to see them in the playoffs. I really don't.
You're being a jerk.
Well,
why don't you want them in the playoffs? Stats has been saying that too. I like the Titans.
Thank you, Chris. I don't. Sorry, I'm on Team Stats on this one. I look at the Titans and I think this.
Everywhere they go, people want to know who they are.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we tell them.
So we do tell them. They're the mighty, mighty Titans. But the thing that I think bothers me more than anything about them, and listen, there's qualities about their team I do like, and I respect their coaching staff. I really respect where they're going as an organization. What I don't like about them this year as a team is I don't really think there's anything elite about their football team. Not one unit, not one player. They got a lot of good, a lot of solid, but as we saw last week on Saturday night against the Washington Redskins, I mean, their defense couldn't get off the field on Josh Johnson, which was, kind of embarrassing at times since Josh Johnson, has only started like one game in his life, and that was a long, long time ago. Yes, I don't look at the elite factor with the Tennessee Titans. I think that bothers me, where I can look at the Colts and go, there's, of course, the things to admire, but there's 2 elite things they got on their football team. One, their offensive line, right, Mike? It's as elite as it gets. And then their quarterback's elite. And I think because of that, I think they're dangerous in the playoffs, where I look at Tennessee and I go, if they get in, I mean, I just don't care. I don't think they have any chance of making a serious run. And I know I'm disrespecting the Tennessee Titans here, but I'm sorry. I'm just giving my honest thoughts.
Well, they've managed to win 4 in a row. They
Yeah.
were so inconsistent earlier in the year, and they wouldn't even be in this spot if they had been more consistent. When they had played well, if they could have continued it for a few more weeks, they'd already have it nailed down, and they would be legitimately competing for the 1 seed or the 2 seed at this point. I agree with you. There's something missing, but that's what makes it even more fascinating.
Yeah.
The fact that Mike Vrabel, the coach of the team in his first year, is kind of willing this team to be better than the sum of its parts, especially with Blaine Gabbert coming in and winning the game on Saturday night to keep the Titans' hopes alive. And I don't know how I feel about this game, but I do like the idea that we have a playoff play-in game on Sunday Night Football, and the stakes may be a lot higher than the 6th seed. We'll know by the time we get there whether or not they are playing for the 6th spot and a trip to face the 3 seed, which most likely will be the Houston Texans, another AFC South showdown in the postseason, or whether or not they win the division. If the Texans lose to the Jaguars, the winner of that game on Sunday night will win the AFC South and have a home playoff game right out of the gates and possibly get a bye if it's the Titans and enough other things happen. Now, with the Ravens and the Steelers, one is getting in and one is not getting in. One will be the AFC North champion and one will be out of the playoffs altogether. And for Baltimore, it's just simple. When I was saying this last hour, Chris, you may have heard me say it. If the Ravens can't beat the Browns, who are playing for nothing, and the Ravens are playing for everything, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you can't beat a team that is not in the mix to get into the postseason, that they're already done, that it's already over, if you can't win that game, then you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And so it's that simple. Ravens, what can you do against a Browns team that's going to be very motivated? Even though they're not playing for a playoff berth, they're convinced this is their bowl game, and they want to come to Baltimore and knock the Ravens out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's the point right there. That's why they're kind of a little bit of a under the radar sleeper here, the Cleveland Browns, or a sleeping giant per se, because yes, there is no pressure, but yet at the same time, they do kind of want to end their season off on a positive note. They got some, positive vibe, the mojo going in Cleveland. Their defense has played very good down the stretch. We've seen the run game and Baker Mayfield really be impressive. Nick Chubb and Baker Mayfield, 2 rookies in the backfield who couldn't be any more impressive. They have the offensive line, Mike, to kind of slow down the Baltimore Ravens defensive line and not get steamrolled there. I sit here and I go, I favor the Ravens. You and I both know the Ravens, their play, it's going to make the game close no matter what. That's the way they play. They want to play defense, run the football. And I look at the Browns as a team with not a lot of pressure, but yet still wanting to win and continue those positive vibes like you're saying. And I go, ooh, watch out. This is dangerous. It really is. I mean, it's going to be a 1-score football game, even if the Ravens dominate the football game. And I think I think Cleveland matches up pretty well with Baltimore, and 1 strip sack fumble or 1 turnover, and that game can change. I really do give Cleveland a chance in this one. I think they could make some waves and at least give Baltimore a really tough time.
And here's one way the Browns can be very dangerous. They literally have nothing to lose because they have nothing to gain, right? This is it.
Yeah.
This is their last game. So they can throw anything they want at the Ravens. They can take risks because there's no downside. Okay, we lost the game and our season's over. It was going to be over anyway. Win or lose, the season's over. Now, I wonder whether or not Greg Williams believes that this is the game that becomes the closing argument for him to be the next coach of the Browns. I hope, I choose my words carefully here. Well, maybe not. I hope the Browns don't hire Greg Williams to be their coach because I think they can do so much better with Baker Mayfield, with this buzz that they've built. Whether they finish 8-7-1 or 7-8-1, they're going to be able to lure a much better head coach than Greg Williams. Somebody suggested the other day that if the Browns don't make Greg Williams the head coach, someone else is going to hire him. No, they're not. They're not. And I think the Browns need to recognize that they could be a Super Bowl team next year if they hire the right coach, and I just don't believe the right coach is Greg Williams.
No, I would agree with you there. I don't look at him as being the future of the Cleveland Browns or the guy to lead them, to the promised land one day. I do look at him as still a really good defensive mind and wouldn't be shocked if an offensive head coach went in there and kept Greg Williams on the defensive side and kept that staff intact.
Wait a minute, though.
I know.
How awkward would that be now?
Yes, it would be
It's
very
almost
awkward.
like Williams has done so well that he can't stay in any capacity other than head coach.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, it's gonna have to be a strong head coach who has the personality to take that. But you're right. Now that he's had that success, it'll make that a little harder, because if you go on a losing streak with the new head coach and Greg Williams is still in the building, they're gonna go, man, we might have been better off with that guy. So I think that's the problem that exists there, and that's probably why he doesn't end up there. I'm just throwing it out there either way. But either way, he doesn't know whether he's getting the job or not, right, Mike? Right now, he thinks there's a chance, and he's going to have his team ready to play. And I think to your point, yeah, maybe we see flea flickers or a fake punt on 4th and 3, something like that, because there is nothing to lose. They're young. They're kind of, what do they say, green between the ears right now. They don't even know the environment they're going into.
I've never heard that before.
Okay, maybe
green between the ears.
Yeah,
I've heard wet behind the ears.
I think that's the one I was looking for. Good job. There you go. That was the one I was looking for.
How do you confuse green with wet?
I don't know. I think there was something there. What do I want? I'll come up with it later. There's something about green.
If you're green, yeah, you're new at something.
A greenhorn. There's a greenhorn.
There we go. See, I like to combine things to make them hit home every now and then. It was a double whammy. It hit hard there. But getting back to my point, which I don't even know what it was at this point. No, but yes,
that makes two
they're
of us.
wet behind the ears is what I'm saying, and that they don't even know the pressure that they're going into. They don't care. They just want to play football. Baker Mayfield doesn't give a damn whether he's staring down a head coach or playing the Ravens, whatever it may be. He's going to go out there and give his best effort, and I'm excited to watch them play.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.